In a laboratory, a mummified corpse is hooked up to several wires. A scientist throws the switch, and the corpse speaks for a few moments before we fade and meet the Prime Scientist of Atlanticus and the Prime Councilwoman.
And we were a proud people as well as the most advanced in our time. We had carts that would propel themselves. We shortened the name to cars. Flying vehicles. We had weapons of vast and awesome power that could destroy an entire village in only a day or so. Our rockets could reach the sky and ply into the depths of space. Surely the wonders of Atlanticus could not be recreated by the lesser peoples that remained after the fall of Atlanticus. Yes, our downfall came from the barbarians of the East. They were our greatest concern with their violent ways.
Strange custom. And in conclusion, the only way of dealing with these barbarians from the East is to exterminate them. That is why I've developed our Mega Ray Sprayers and the Ultra Death Ray. We should stop treating them so nicely and make the world safe for civilization.
We treat them nicely, not just because there are so many of them, because it is the right thing to do. We are the same species, you realize. The barbarians of the East really are no significant danger to us as long as we have science on our side.
And that is where I differ in opinion. All the advanced weapons we have mean nothing if they overrun us with sheer numbers. If we exterminate them all now, we can expand into their lands and settle them peacefully with friendly colonies of our own.
Eventually, these damnable Greeks and the rest of the barbarians of the East will announce wars and means of settling their affairs and live in a peaceful coexistence with all around them, us included. We have the capability to hold their hostile forces at bay if need be, and are in no real danger from their primitive ways.
They are mad, the lust for death, killing, and looting and raping, unlike most of the other simple animals. We should visit upon them death and destruction on such a scale that if there were any survivors, they would tremble at the mere thought of meeting someone from our lands.
Having only recently learned that they are brother and sister, Princess Electra and Telemachus meet to discuss the matter under the moonlight in the garden. Unknown to them, they are watched by Odysseus in the distance.
I love you deeply, Telemachus.
And I love you deeply. Oh, so deeply as well, my dearest sister.
Yes, brother. Our love must be as brother and sister.
Yes, my dearest sister.
Yes, brother. We both know it would be wrong to have our love be more than that of endeared siblings.
Yes, it would be wrong. Very wrong. Ugh. I merely wish to hold you and feel the love of a sister who would travel the ends of the world to save me as you have. The world is a cruel place, and the love of family can sometimes be all there is in it for us.
Hold me as a brother should. I am so happy to see you safely home again. But you know that it is an awkwardness of which we will never speak ever. It pains me to know, but yet we must let it go.
My dearest Electra, I will never do anything that could cause you harm.
Having been captured by Atlantican security forces, Princess Electra, Testicles, and Insanicles await trial in immigration court.
We have 3 today who allege to be from some place called Ithaca. 2 of the 3 resisted lawful arrest, assaulted security forces while entering Atlanticus without proper permits or any form of identification. They are clearly criminal barbarians who should be treated accordingly within our fair laws and swiftly put to either death or properly placed in a servitude position. The younger male appears likely untrainable without severe behavior modification therapy. The older male would likely not return on the investment of his servitude. For these reasons, both of the males should be terminated. The female, although severely aggressive, is young and healthy enough that she may bear both children and enough positive labor to recoup any reasonable investment the state makes in her.
I object, Your Honor.
Stand and state your objection.
I object on the basis that many of the current barbarian cultures do not have proper identification and or the technical ability to meet our law's requirements. It is entirely possible that they speak the truth, and we could be sparking an aggressive action through dismissing their claims without full verification or denial of the facts. For this reason alone, I would suggest the option of repatriating them back to the wild and letting them return to their place of origin.
I object, Your Honor, on the basis that our laws clearly state that for diplomatic recognition, the ability to meet our minimum identification requirements is a must. The barbarian's ignorance of our law is, however, no defense. Further, Your Honor, denial of the facts is our traditional right, should we choose to exercise it as is tradition.
Sustained. Facts need not be sustained before denying them. Defendants will not be repatriated at the state's expense.
Bearing that in mind, defense requests that the barbarians be given the option of trial by the game rather than direct execution. The next game of judgment lacks one more participant. Adding these defendants to the game would allow for the commutation of 2 sentences and provide some much-needed risk for the currently accused.
Counsel for state?
I concur with this request, Your Honor. Further, I suggest we recess to chambers to discuss current commutation possibilities.
Granted for both requests. Defendants will be placed in the game of judgment. 2 commutations will be settled on in my chambers. Should any defendants survive, they will be given citizen status and trained to be useful, or deported if untrainable, etc., etc. Counsel for the defense explains the consequences of the immigration court ruling to Princess Electra, Testicles, and Insanicles.
My brilliant defense of you yesterday in immigration court has spared your worthless lives for a short time. The judge has fairly decreed that you shall be participants in the current awaited game of judgment. The law requires that you be reasonably informed of what that entails. The game of judgment game is a competition like a game of Go, or chess, or any board game with pieces that capture or kill each other in pursuit of that game's victory goal. In that sense, Atlanticus has developed the tradition of the judgment game. All participants will be expected to fight to the end, although the life of a loser may be spared if the voting observers or other factors correlate for them. Each defendant fights for one side and its objective. Failure to move and fight when told will result in immediate termination of that participant. When the goal of the game is reached, the survivors of the winning side are set free, exonerated of their crimes forever. The survivors of the losing side must wait for the next game. The objectives vary from game to game, but can be as simple as capturing a tower or person, to eliminating specific defendants on one or both sides in a complex rhinoplasticus squared rhombus sequence. If your side wins, you are free to become productive citizens of Atlanticus. If you lose and are not dead, you get to try again when the game grid is filled. The objective for today's game is that the alpha side must kill all of the beta side, while the beta side must capture at least one tower. The 3 of you are the beta side. This concludes the legal minimum briefing. Goodbye.
Having performed his explanatory duties, counsel for the defense has a meeting with Prime Councilwoman.
Tell me again why my daughter was not given the commutation.
There were only 2 available, and she was next on the list. I did manage to get her a tower, though. She'll likely be safe and free in a short while.
You worry me too much.
You worry too much for her. She should be fine.
She's my daughter. I'll worry as much as I want.
The prime scientist of Atlanticus has been saddled with the task of giving a tour of the scientific compound to none other than Princess Electra, Testicles, and Insanicles. The very first door that he opens reveals a huge schematic of the Megadeath Ray on the far wall.
This room is our world domination research room. The world just doesn't dominate itself. We Atlanticans spend a great deal of effort at research and planning towards dominating all we can.
Bondage, please, would love your attitude. I so miss him. What is that on the wall?
That is nothing to concern yourself with. Just world domination research. This is our information extraction research department.
Bondage, please, would love this room. I so miss him.
Those are some very advanced techniques. Yes, indeed.
Oh, this is where you gather information.
Heavens no, it's just the research department. Everyone in there is a volunteer. We give them information and then see how long they can hold out on us. The longer they hold out, the better the reward for them.
That would be such a heaven to Bondage, please.
Perhaps this next room will help you recover from the loss of your bondage, please. This is our erotic distraction research department.
Hey, this is Electra.
Hi.
Yes, I always forget how stunning this room is at first glance. Again, all volunteers. Come along, let's not interrupt their... Yes, hello.
Hi.
Oh, I think they mean you, dear princess. Hard to tell from that angle.
I want to go back.
Of course you do. Everyone does.
I think I left my sandal back there.
For that to work, you have to leave your sandal there. You're still wearing both.
Of course he is. Princess, you're lacking a sandal.
What? Why, yes, you're right. I should go back and
Would this be your sandal, miss?
put my sandal on.
The tour group stops for lunch.
I want to go back.
We all want to go back. I miss home.
No, I want to go back to the sex room. Home can wait.
The tour group approaches the final room before the tour ends.
I hear puppies.
Of course you do. This room's my personal favorite. It's the puppy kicking room.
What?
You know, when you've had a really bad day, like today for instance, and you just really need to vent, you can come here on the way out and kick some puppies.
No!
Oh!
After the guards separate Princess Electra from beating the Prime Scientist half to death, she stands behind her two companions holding a puppy while her hair stands on end as the tour is concluded.
And so concludes our tour. Please exit through the decontamination room and leave my facility. The guards on the other side will see you to your quarters. Good day.
I was sort of starting to like him until a puppy kicking room.